Jeffrey Herlings, you're
The good old days.
Back again. He's
The
back
good old
again.
days. My
He's back.
old routine. I've not forgotten.
Yeah, it's good. Alright,
Lewis Phillips is back, and you're back winning races again.
yeah.
Not quite the overall this time, but the last 2 weekends it looks like you're really finding your form again.
Yeah, it's getting better, and actually the only thing what's changed is that I'm right there with the start, And obviously the pace got better and better, but I feel I'm getting better. It's crazy to say when you're almost 30 years old, you still need like 10 races, 10 GPs to be back with the top guys, but no, I'm pretty happy with it, and yeah, coming closer and closer, and yeah, a couple of GPs, I've been on the podium in a row, so pretty happy with that.
The first 5 minutes of these races, it looks like you have the speed, but you're trying to find it to go with them. Is that frustrating because you're having to make it all back up the last 10 minutes usually?
Yeah, but like honestly, like today and both motos, they maybe get me by a second or 2 or 3, but not like they get me by 10. Like often they get me by 15 seconds and they were just kind of gone. But now I kind of stayed on the rear wheel, but like yeah, the track was impossible to pass. Even it's not about the rain because yeah, this track is just very tight track, and then like when you're like Tim and me, we were basically same speed, same with Jorge. Almost, I just had a little overspeed, but just couldn't get around them. So yeah, that was the problem.
Have you been practicing the 5 minute intensity off the start, or is it just race times bringing this back?
Yeah, but the best thing for that is to just do races, and that's why I do all those races. People are like, oh, why are you racing in England? Why are you racing in Holland? Why are you racing all those things? I'm just racing it because when I'm on practice, I just do my laps, and I'm like, even if I go 1:35 or 1:37, I don't even know because I'm just there alone. So that's why I do the races, and there's always a little bit of good competition. Whenever I go to England, there's Conrad. Whenever I did some Dutch racing, was Romain. So there was always competition, So yeah, that's why I try to just keep working on that and also work on the stars. The stars got better. Actually, last week were really good. But where we did the test a couple of weeks back was like a little bit of a sandy surface. So now today in the grip, we were struggling a bit more. But we, yeah, gonna work on that and hopefully get that better too. Because I think when I'm top 3 in the stars, I can be on the podium at any track.
And how much stress does Jorge bring on the starts for you and Tim? Because it seems like if you aren't second and third, he's pretty much gone. And you all weekend and last few, it's so intense to try and get that top 3 position after the first couple of turns.
Yeah, obviously getting easier and easier because every weekend a couple of guys get hurt basically. I mean, it's not really, I hate saying this because I don't want anyone to be hurt, but it's just, I mean, we go super fast and it's not always the track, It's we can't always blame the track. Like sometimes you're very unlucky. Like the Paul's Jonas crash, he was just unlucky. It's just a star crash, could happen in Supercross, could happen anywhere. So it has nothing to do with the organization, nothing to do with the track. It's just racing, So it's part of the job, and yeah, it's things like that can happen.
Your foot injury a few years ago, how bad was that? And do you feel it was like a turning point in your career? Because at that point you might have been the fastest rider ever, or at least close to that level. And are you having to ride differently still, even after getting the metal work out?
Because I had a really good surgery actually in Holland in 2022, got both feet fixed. I still have a little problem with my heel. I don't have any pain with riding, I don't have any pain in daily life. Just does a little bump, and that's like always causing me kind of a blister. So for just normal walk. Furthermore, the other foot, which was really damaged, really bad, he got it fixed pretty good. I don't have any issues. So for riding, I'm not intimidated or whatsoever because of it. So but just I missed a lot. I missed a lot in 2019. Then I missed a lot again in 2022. I missed the entire season. 23 I missed a lot. So that's why people say, oh, Herlings isn't the same. No, but also sometimes you have to be honest and be aware that, okay, I haven't, like in 22, 23, I raced like 10 races out of 40 GPs kind of, So it's normal that it takes a bit of time, I would say.
How's the intensity with you, Jorge, and Tim this year compared to the 2017, 2018 against Crowley? Because I think that might have been the fastest Tony ever went, trying to keep up with you.
21?
18 when you won the
18?
Yeah, against Tony. Is the pace similar, or what would you?
Back then it was just a straight out fight, me and Tony, just one-on-one every single time. Yeah. Right now there's multiple guys who can win. Obviously Jorge has the speed, I have the speed, Tim has the speed. For me, Favre has the speed. Even Renault is not that far. Obviously he hasn't raced much as well the last year because of his foot injury. But there's multiple guys in a fight, so it's not just like back then when it was me and Tony, and yeah, that's it.
There's talk about an AMA MXGP combination race in America.
Yeah.
A couple of years. Are you for that? Will you keep going until that's in to race that unique event?
I always said when I signed this contract, I said this is going to be my last one because I was done with it. But now actually I kind of enjoy it because I take a second and a third. I don't really care anymore. Like, okay, for sure I prefer to win, and I do everything in my possibilities to win. But even if I get second or third, I'm like, okay, I done my best, and the most important, I go home safe. And my goal is this year not to win a championship, not to be top 3. My goal is to finish the entire season and do every single race. If I've done that, honestly, I don't care about the result. So that's my goal for this year. And if then we finish 3rd or 2nd, I'll take it. Even now, I'm not that far anymore behind Jorge. Okay, Tim's like 70 something points in front, but it's still 10 races to go, and anything can still happen.
If you were to advise 15-year-old Jeffrey Herlings, knowing what you know now, what would you tell him?
That's half my lifetime back, mate. I've already been winning GPs in 2010, which is like over 15 years ago. So it's that had to be more smart at times. But still, today I still make mistakes. So it's not just back then I made a lot, and today I still make a few.
Did you enjoy it then, or was it just winning? Are you enjoying it now? The process more of racing and training?
I love the process of racing. I love the process of training. I sometimes don't like the things around it, all the media stuff I gotta do, but I know it's part of the job. And not this particularly, but we have a lot of things what people don't see, and a lot of things we have to do for partners and sponsors. That's the only thing I like a bit less, but I'm also fully aware because of them we're able to live our dream, and the partners and whatsoever they pay for it. So it's also normal we have to give things back, but we have a 24/7 job kind of, It's not that I go home and I'll be a free man tomorrow, because then again you're training, and again you have to work your ass off. So it's but I still love it, and that's why also I still want to continue. Like my contract's up next year with KTM, but after that I still want to continue.
Brilliant, thank you, well done. Liam Everts, a great weekend. After a couple of so-so performances, was it nice to get back into your rhythm again and be up leading races and winning races?
Obviously it showed the last 3 rounds a struggle. So this was nice, winning quali race, winning a Moto 1, to feel like my best again.
Did you make a change on the bike, or what happened in that sort of couple of weekends there?
Got back to basics. Had fun again in my riding. That was a big thing during the week as well. I had 2 good days with my grandpa training, which was nice.
So Harry Everts, your granda there, he's had I don't know how many riders come through his system from Jet to Prado. Obviously your dad, Grant Langston, Jonas. Why is he so good at coaching riders? What does he give you?
For me it's very different. We're family, we're related, so it's very different to all his past riders. With all respect to them, obviously. It's a family thing. I don't know. We just get along and it works.
The level this year seems really high. Both the Husky boys are going really fast. You came into the series after your thumb injury, and you were straight back on the pace. But obviously, you've Adamo, Sasha's now winning races. How's it like out there? Even though you get to start 5th, it's like a war zone for 35 minutes.
Yeah, I think today it showed even more. Like it was almost impossible to. Obviously you can pass, but if you go off the racing line, you lose time. So that was a bit of a thing today. But we're a very competitive class this year, I'd say. You have Andrea, Simon, Lucas, Guy, myself, Sasha. So it's competitive to say the least, but I think it's very good for the pure company.
Are you able to enjoy those races? Because it just seems like you're just on it.
I loved it this weekend.
Did you?
To be honest, I really had fun this weekend, and I think that showed.
There's talk of an AMA MXGP combination race in a year or two in America. So it'll be, I presume, top 20 from here, going over to America and racing their top 20 with
I didn't know.
Davey and David Longo. Would that excite you to have such a unique race?
I think I need to open my social then. Come climb under the rock. I don't know. Could be excited. Why not?
And just going back to Disney Nations, you rode that 350 last year. The bigger bikes look like they're going to suit you. Are you going to stay on MX2 till the age limit, or have you even thought of down that road? And you don't know.
I'm just focused on the second part of this season now, and then we'll see what comes on my path. I think for next season it's pretty clear. I'm still going to be on the 250.
Okay.
9 out of 10, or something has to change so big that I don't even know about now. But I'm not looking that far ahead.
And just on your GP wins, you've shown some great Everts, classic Everts style in the mud. Does it feel really good to be compared to your dad like that and execute the way he used to? And even the American media are commenting that you're just like your dad, because it was a couple of weeks ago you just pulled away from everyone.
It showed.
You're very patient in these
You have
ruts.
to be in these conditions. It's very tricky. If you rush it, you'll lose time. It's a compliment, but obviously I have my own style.
Yeah.
It's very similar to my dad's. I think that they'll follow me for quite some time.
Were you taught that, how to do that? Did Stefan or Harry teach you that, or is that just an instinct that you just can
Obviously, I was taught from a young age
Yeah.
to do those things, but you still have to do it yourself. When it comes down to it, you have to do it on the bike, and that's something they can't help me with. That's something it's either there or it's not there. So I kind of developed that myself. I think a lot of that comes from trial riding.
Okay.
I really enjoyed doing that off season. Living partly in Portugal, just taking a trial bike, go out the gate and have fun. It's where I think you learn a lot.
Good job, Liam. Well done
you.
this weekend. Thank you.
It was so hard to pass out there. 2 starts were very, very key, and you were able to execute them, so you must have been happy with that, and you put yourself in a great position to get the job done. And voila, on the top step of the podium. Must feel amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It was good. First start was okay. I was third, and then make a quick pass on Jorge. What was really important, a bit more aggressive. But I know that if I don't pass him on the beginning, it's gonna be difficult after in the race. So and then I went for Jeremy. I think 2 laps after, and then had a good race. Until let's say mid race when I make a couple of mistakes. Didn't try that well. The lines was not the best. And they started to catch me a little bit, but yeah, it was a good motor, to win it. And also the second one, we had a nice battle with Jeffrey. He was all the time behind me. The pace was really fast. Shame of that mistake, but anyway, really happy with the overall win.
And you and Jorge, you've been playing a bit of ping pong with the red plate. It must actually be nice to keep it for 2 weeks in a row now. Obviously not the circumstances, but you can't do much about that. It must feel great to keep the red plate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for past 4 GPs, we were like
crazy.
One race I have it, and then the next race he take it, and then again I take it. So yeah, it's not easy. Kind of like this kind of like races. It's not easy for the hat, because you are just 2 points separate. But anyway. I know that it's still early in the season. It's good to have a red plate on the bike, but it's not that important like on the end of the season. We all want to have red plate on the end of the season. But anyway, yes, it was kind of like a ping pong, like you said.
And I mean, you're 5-time world champion. What's it like being in such a close world championship fight? I mean, does that make you more hungry? Do you prefer that, or would you prefer to win it easy? Not that it's ever easy, but in terms of the points.
I mean, it's never easy.
In terms of the points,
to win a championship, but I think it's interesting, how it is this year. It's good for I think for spectators, for the people that watch behind the TV. For us riders, of course, it's maybe a little bit more stressful, but it's also fun. We like to battle hard, and it's good.
And this season, it's been mud, story of the season. But you must be sick of it. But at least today was dry.
Yeah, yesterday was not.
Disaster.
But actually, for the quali race was not bad. It was just one line, but was not that muddy like maybe Almeida or Frank's second moto. But yeah, I mean, we were really unlucky. Let's say for the past couple of weeks with the mud, with the rain. Hopefully now the summer gonna start, and when we came back from Indonesia, we're gonna have a nice weather and also good races. Let's say sun out.
Hopefully. What was your thoughts on the track today? Obviously, with all the rain, it was dry, so hard. It looked really hard packed, rock hard there at the end.
Yeah, it was rock hard, but. I mean, on the end of the day, you have to say that the crew make a good job, especially how much water was on the track this morning and also yesterday, especially when that storm came, was quite muddy, and they move all the dirt out. So let's say that they take the top of 20 centimeters where was, let's say, a traction, so that's why it was maybe more harder, and let's say we were lacking the traction out of the corners, maybe the ruts were not getting that deep, but on the end of the day, they make a good job we even have some dust now in the second motor, so
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And are you based in Croatia? Is that right? Or
no, I live in Slovenia.
Slovenia,
but
okay.
I train in Croatia.
Okay,
as well, yeah,
so you spend a lot of time in Croatia and Slovenia between GPs.
Most of the time.
And how is that? Like, is there that? Obviously, you've got your own track, but apart from that, is there that many tracks suitable to GP tracks there in Croatia and Slovenia?
I mean, I'm that kind of guy that like to go back where I came from, you know. I like to train in Slovenia, I like to be home always. It's quiet there, you know, nobody is there from the, let's say, World Championship motocross, you know, I'm just alone there, doing my own thing, nobody really knows what I'm doing, so I like that. That's why I never move somewhere else, you know, like to Belgium or somewhere. For me, I mean, like it's strange to go on a practice and to have like 15 GP riders there, you know, like so. I prefer to do it my own thing. Always staying in Slovenia, you know. Whenever we need to go testing or something, I go to Italy, you know, here to Milano, where the team is based. We do some testing here, some trainings here, but like most of them, I do like in Slovenia on my track. We have some nice tracks around, you know, so I'm not riding just one track. Also some deep sand tracks in Croatia. Where I get ready for Lommel and Triola, so I have everything what I need.
It's working. Jeffrey Herlings, I'm not sure if you would have read them, but he made some comments about the safety in MXGP with track prep and the medical stuff going on. Anything you would say on that?
I think he made the point, you know. Obviously, I mean, like I know that the crew and they are trying to do everything with the tracks, you know, slowing them down, trying to make them safer. But there is not a lot of flow, you know. And with our bikes, 450, they are super powerful and so fast, and it's like tricky. I would say more dangerous than when you have like open tracks like Matterley Basin or something like that, because there is safer. You have a huge jumps, but you have everything under control. It's wider, you know, like if you go off the track, you have like a grass, you know, like but here some tracks are sketchy, you know. If you go off the track, you have like a concrete or you have machines there, so it's, I mean, definitely they can do something better, and I hope they're gonna work on that. So yeah.
We don't know when it's going to happen yet, but Longo and Coombs are in talks about an AMA MXGP combo race. What would your thoughts be on that? It'd be pretty cool for the sport.
I think it would be good, you know, but they should do two races, you know. They should do one in America and one here.
I agree.
Because, you know, like for us going there, definitely American guys, they have some advantage, but obviously when they came here, we have some advantage, you know, because the tracks are so different. So if they're considering that, they should do two races.
Perfect, thank you very much for your time. Much more like it. It must be a bit of relief and happiness to be up there on the podium again.
Yeah, sure. I mean, still we are not where we should be, really, you know. I mean, the gap is still big. I wasn't really in the fight up front, and I got it a bit by luck before crashing out, but still you got to be there, you know. But yeah, this is a good step in the right direction. We kept it together and yeah, finished P3 overall. So now we just need to go back to work with a bit of extra motivation also for the crew, for everybody, you know. So yeah, let's make it happen now.
And I would say we haven't seen the real Jeremy Seewer this season. What would you put that down to, from your side?
Well, it's tough to say that, but yeah, I haven't been the real me, but it's just I didn't feel one yet with the bike, you know. We tried so many things, and I mean the team is trying hard, you know. They do a really good job. It's just I've been a long time on another brand, and somehow we just didn't find the Jeremy Seewer magic yet. And the 450 class, I mean, I'm doing well, you know. It's not that I'm finishing 15th. I'm always just there, but it's like if you want to be in the top 3, it's just this is MXGP, you know. And yeah, we got to work on the setup and on the combination to find the magic. But like I said, I think today we were better.
And it seems like the Japanese are working really hard for you, so they're trying. And what's it like working with Ante as well? He's obviously a former rider, so he's probably been through things like this. Is he able to help you a little bit?
You know, on the team side, I'm super happy the way they are very professional. Like just the things around the rider are super easy. Traveling is like I never had such a good team around me in terms of the normal things, you know. The struggle, like I said, was just on setup, where Antti and the crew doesn't have much to say. That comes from Japan, you know, and this I think just maybe is a bit normal that it takes time to find each other. I mean, Romain, the last few years he had his setup, and then obviously I start with what he has because that's what they have in the team. But then we find out, that's not what works for me because my riding style is completely different, and then that whole process starts, and it's not done in 1 week. That's just the point, you know.
And I mean, this season's crazy. Mud. Thank goodness today was dry, but you must be sick of the sight of the stuff.
Oh, it's almost normal here in rain now. In the past it was raining, mud race, okay, there's 1 or 2 races a year, max. Now we had like 6 or something, so it's getting normal, and I'm not really bad in the mud, so for me it's okay, but still, like, it's not really the most fun to ride a bike, you know.
And when you signed with Kawasaki, there was nothing about how many years you signed. Could you just confirm? Is it a 1 year deal? Have you got options, or what's the
That's actually
scenario?
quite open, you know. We said, okay, let's start a collaboration, and then we decide how we get along, you know, and how things work out. But I think soon we need to decide how many years this is going to be or not.
And what was the track like today? Obviously so much rain. I feel like they've done a good job to keep it dry. It looked rock hard. It looked really hard to ride.
Honestly, I think we are lucky we were in Machora with that amount of rain yesterday. Like any other track would have been still full wet now. The way how the hills are and stuff, how they can scrape the mud out on the bottom, it was okay today. Just a bit one line and stuff because that's the conditions, you know, and very hard because they kept it hard that the water doesn't go in. So second motor, a few places were super sketchy, like you said, but I think, like you said, also like they did a really good job to keep it more or less okay and safe.
And I'm not sure if you would have read them, but some quotes came out from Jeffrey Herlings during the week about MXGP safety. Is that something you'd like to comment on, just about the safety this season in regards to track prep, and then obviously a few riders with the medical stuff isn't ideal?
Well, I'm always honest, you know me, but like...
You might get in trouble.
Yeah, you get in trouble, I get in trouble if I'm really taking my filters off, but I mean, it's always two sides. I hear also some stories and they are not acceptable, and I think in some small areas MXGP really should try to improve on safety. Like one is like the flag story, like with the marshals, because lately I've seen, especially in France, we have seen some crazy stuff which shouldn't have happened, like with Benista and all these things, which I think you can't really blame the riders, because I think what many don't realize is how fast we go nowadays.
Unbelievable.
Even like these are tracks, they're here for whatever, 50 years.
The bikes are also so fast.
And the last 10 years the speed got that much faster that many things which were safe are not safe anymore. And now if I go straight or if I crash, it's serious. And there are things in the way which they don't even think about, because like I say, even 10 years ago it wasn't the case. And I think they just need to try and come out of, like, think further. I mean, and then, sure, there are many things to improve, but you know, from outside to say is always easy. If you are in there, it's a different story to make it happen. So, it's a tricky thing, but I sure think there can be improvement.
And I think Longo and Davy Coombs are in talks. I don't know when it's going to happen about an AMA and MXGP combo race. Pretty cool for the sport. What would your thoughts be on that in the future?
For the sport, amazing. I mean, it would be cool. I just hope they don't add another race, especially for us 20.
I think it would be part of the calendar.
Yeah, I hope so, because other for the US guys, they have a tough season now with that SMX and us with 20 GPs and 2 days, event. It's not easy.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
Mikkel Haarup, probably a tough weekend. You've been really good all year, but just talk us through the weekend. Yesterday didn't go too well, so you're limping off. Are you everything okay that way?
Yeah, yesterday in the qualifying race I was off to a decent start. I was around 5th, and Kai crashed on the jump on a landing, and I followed through because I was in the air by the time he crashed, and I land on his bike, and I obviously come to a complete stop instantly as I land, and I damaged my knee a little bit, my groin, but that's why I had to hump away, but got everything checked up. Nothing broken, luckily, just a lot of damage. But yeah, we can deal with that. So we were doing a lot of work throughout the evening yesterday and again this morning, and I got the green light to go and ride. And yeah, so we had to obviously do some sort of damage control this weekend, but overall I actually felt good today. My riding wasn't too bad, but yeah, I had to come from the outside every time, and wasn't easy to pass. I had a little mistake in the second moto as I was challenging for 4th place, but overall a solid weekend considering what we had yesterday. And I think once again we just proved how good our starts are from the outside, really. Because I had to come from way out, but yeah, obviously we're chasing more than just like a top 5, 6, 7. You know, we wanna get near the podium and get on the podium and win ultimately. So yeah, frustrating, but that's part of racing, I guess.
So as you mentioned, that your speed's been really good all year, which means obviously the bike is really good. Did you podium in its debut, really, what you must have been overjoyed with? Did you expect to be that fast over the winter? Did you realise this bike's pretty good and I'm going really fast?
Yeah, we did really good testing throughout the winter. I noticed that the bike is really great all round. Like we could do consistent starts. Bike was always working well, so for me it was easy to adapt to because every training, every race, it was always the same. And yeah, overall just a good bike, very solid, and I think that's why I wasn't too surprised when we showed up in Argentina. I could feel it already on Saturday, and on Sunday we made it happen. And yeah, we've been close many weekends, I would say, but just a mistake here or a rider crashing in front of me and get caught out, or small things has kept us away from better results lately. But I feel like it's going to turn and hopefully soon, so we can get back on the box.
Were you expecting the bike to be so good straight away? We've got a brand new manufacturer, America. They've had good results, good starts, and obviously here as well with you and Camden. Did you expect when you signed that this bike would be a podium? Did you? Yeah,
I did, because I see the people working in the team. Mm-hmm. I met the engineers, and when I tried the bike the first time, I knew it was going to be a good bike. Obviously, there's a lot of things that has to go right in order to get to where we are now. And we've had a really strong winter. The boys have been doing good. We've made adjustments throughout, both on the setup, on the engine, on the frame. What you would expect with a new bike. And even though we've done all of these changes, we still managed to stay competitive and improve as well. So I think it just shows how well the bike is put together. And just enjoying really showcasing it. But yeah, when I tried the bike the first time, I knew immediately.
You rode Kawasaki, KTM, Husky, those sort of brands. Does it feel like a KTM or Husky? Well, Husky's much the same. Yeah. Kawasaki, or is it its own unique feel?
It's very much in between the two, I would say. Obviously, every bike has its perks and negatives, but I think this bike is really solid all around. It's easy to set up. I think mainly because of the aluminium frame and the way that they've set up the bike from the beginning. It's got a strong engine. We've had very few technical issues, which again shows how well the team is working. It's just I would say it's very much in between a Kawasaki and a KTM. That's my opinion.
Do you share much information with the AMA team, or is the GP team working at a different beat because of the traction?
I know that Vince, the team manager, has been sharing quite a lot of data. Obviously, there's a limit to it because they are riding mainly Supercross. Mm-hmm. So we cannot use all of their data, and they cannot obviously use. But I assume now when they're doing the outdoors, they do use a lot of us. Obviously, they have some restrictions that we don't, and same the other way. They've got some fuel that we can't run. So that obviously puts a limit to how much you can copy each other. But I know they talk back and forth, especially throughout the winter when we were still in that testing period.
There's talk that the AMA and MXGP are going to have a combined race in America, the top, I presume, 20 of each class in the next year or two. Would you be excited to be involved in that?
Yeah, sure. I haven't heard anything of it, but But yeah, sure, of course, I love racing, so why not?
Yeah. Keeping the American theme, Ricky Carmichael's heavily involved with Triumph.
Yeah.
Have you met him, spent time with him, learned anything from him, and how's that been for you?
No, so Ricky hasn't been in Europe from what I know ever since I came with the team. But I've heard, yeah, I think he was very much an influence, especially during the testing period.
Okay.
And you know, when it comes to racing and setting up the bike for racing, it's more of an individual thing, what the riders like, because someone like Ricky is built different than other guys. You know, he's short-legged, very aggressive, you know, the way that he rides the bike. So I think if he set up the bike the way he wanted, obviously it wouldn't be easy to ride for me.
Yeah.
So at one point I guess he has to take a step back and just be the ambassador.
Yeah.
But I would love to meet him, and he has shown great support, like on social media and stuff. So he's definitely keeping an eye out, but yeah, the guy's busy.
And do you know what you're doing next year yet? This is your last year, I think, age-wise, MX2, is it? Yeah. So is there any plans?
No,
talks, nothing yet.
No.
And just on your career, you've had a lot of ups and downs. You've obviously had a lot of talent. Factory Husqvarna, and then you came back again with Dixon, showed your potential. And now again, you have a factory team, and you're really, I feel, blossoming into what your full potential is. Do you feel a kind of relief that you're climbing that ladder back up again and showing what you can really do?
Well, obviously you need to be in the right place at the right time for this to happen. And yes, like you say, I've had some ups and downs. I think mainly just because of teams and the way that things have been with injuries as well. Obviously plays a part, but I've never been worried to the point where it's not a worry for me, because I have a goal in mind and I'm chasing that goal, and obviously you need great people, great teams in order to make this happen. So that is obviously something I've had to chase, but it's never been to the point where I started worrying, because I knew if I can get a good bike, I will be up there in the front. I know.
Yeah, you've always had the speed. It's just getting all the
exactly.
The puzzle,
so
I guess.
With consistency, and I mean, this season is far from done, and I'm enjoying it so much. I love the racing. I love just the way that we can be consistent. I mean, look at the boys now. They're throwing bottles around. Like there's a very good team atmosphere, and it just makes me enjoy the racing a lot. You know, like it's not only there's the hard work, and then there's the enjoyment, which makes the hard work even more fun. You know what I mean? So
brilliant, and good job this season. Great to see.
Done in Madura, very, very tough to pass out there. It made starts so important, but overall I feel like your pace was okay. I mean, you kept the Wolf behind you there, and we know how strong he's been this year, so must be pleased with the speed, but just need better starts around that track.
No, for sure. It's a little bit frustrating, because with the speed that we had the whole weekend, we could do much better than what we did. In the quali race, we crashed at first lap, and it was not the case to crash at first lap, because with one track that was only one line, like it was yesterday, was really bad to pass. And then but I managed to come back on P6, so it was pretty good. But today the conditions were a little bit more normal, and everybody were fast, but there was really no way to pass. Most of the races that we saw, they just end the race how they started, except somebody that was crashing. But it's a little bit like I said, frustrating, because with the speed we could do much better, but it's the way it is, and we did P4. So.
And how did you find the track? Obviously so much rain. I think the organisers done a pretty good job drying it up. It looked really rock hard pack out there. Was it slick and hard to ride?
Yeah, the track was really strange, because with all the rain that we had yesterday and the days before, they had to really take the first part out. So it was not easy for them. I think they managed and they did a pretty good job, but I think around the track they could do some options to change, to pass the, different options, because everyone were going in the same line, and it was really, we didn't. I think for the public was quite boring, the races, because nobody overtook somebody else except somebody that crashes. So but like I said, it's the way it is. And P4 speed, I'm really happy about the speed, so that's important. And now we go to Indonesia.
And obviously you were world champion last year. This year maybe a little bit up and down. It looked like you turned a corner in the second moto in Spain when you won that moto, but again, starts aren't always there. How would you describe your season so far?
Yeah, the season has been strange, really strange, because as reigning champion, people expect much more.
Yeah.
But honestly, from one side, I don't care what people expect. It's just me and my team, and I think they always learn me to, let's say, you don't need to show nothing to nobody. You just everything you do, you need to do for yourself, and that's what I do. I'm pretty happy. The beginning of the season was I struggled a little bit, but I think today was let's say the first GP where I had in all the sessions the speed to stay there in front. So already I think one step. So yeah. Let's go for the 2 races in Indonesia.
Where would you say you are at with regards to the bike now? I know you struggled a little bit over winter getting the right setup, and it looked like in Spain you found a corner. Are you happy with the bike the way it is now, or still improvements to be done? Them Huskies look unbelievable, especially out of the gate.
Yeah, no, I think we with the team we are doing a pretty good job. We improved the bike a lot from the beginning of the season, so the bike is working better. We still need to adjust some things, some small things that maybe can help us to make that little more step, but let's say overall it's pretty good. And
just on the season, mud, you've had to really adapt to that. Crazy season in MXGP, but at least today, thank goodness, was dry.
No, it was really crazy. Mamma mia, I think we are now at the mid-season because this is the 10th GP.
Yeah.
And I think we had only 3 GP that was not raining in all weekend.
Yeah,
so has been quite a crazy season, but let's focus on things that we can control, and this one we cannot control, unfortunately.
And I don't know if you would have read, but Jeffrey Herlings' comments came out during the week about rider safety in MXGP. Have you got anything to add to that or to say about the safety in MXGP?
Unfortunately, I try to don't think so much, to not talk, and but this year already has been 3 or 4 times where, for me, they handled the situation really bad.
Okay.
In Argentina with Brandt and with Brandt, and then in Germany with Jacobi and
PJ as well.
And PJ. So I think on that side we really need to make a step, because what Jeffrey says is not. Everything is true. It's not fake stuff. So. Yeah, we need to make a step on that side for sure, and improve.
And another question, they're obviously Longo and Davy Coombs are talking about having an AMA MXGP race combo, so the top 20 in each class. Don't know when it'll happen, but what would your thoughts be on that? Pretty cool?
I think it'll be pretty cool. Because I mean, there is always, I think, from the fans, from everybody, the question, you know. I think AMA is better than MXGP, but it would be cool one day to go top 20 and see what is gonna happen.
And last question, are you happy racing in MX2? You're not thinking of moving up next year or anything like that, or?
At the moment, no. At the moment, no. Yeah, I'm happy to stay in
yeah.
MX2. I think one more year, and then we'll see for the future. But at the moment, the plan is to stay in MX2.
Perfect. Thank you for your time.